Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McCullough, and we have been asking some of your favourite Manchester United contributors on this channel for their Man United Players of the Year for the season 2019-20. And this is what some of them had to say.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Sean here, coming to you guys for Stretford Paddock. Jay has asked me to let you guys know who I think should deserve the Player of the Year award. We've all been through a hell of a ride, but we've managed to end the season on a high.
Hello, I am Emma Edgar from That United family. Player of the season. I have four. Four individual players who I think have been outstanding this season.
Hi, James here for Stretford Paddock. Just a quick one for my player of the season.
Hey everyone, Angelina here with my player of the season for Manchester United.
Manchester United's player of the season. Look, the plaudits are going to be at the feet of Bruno Fernandes. His impact is, unquestionable.
My player of the season for Manchester United is a new signing for this season, coming in from Crystal Palace for 50 million, and that is Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
First one, Marcus Rashford. Before his injury, he was carrying our team like a trooper, so he definitely has to be in there.
Hello, it's Ronaldo here, and my player of the season is Anthony Martial, Tony Martial FC. 22 goals this season, joint with Rashford. Transition to the central position seamlessly, and we're looking at a man that's finally kicking on.
Hello, my name's Joe, and my player of the year for Manchester United is Marcus Rashford. I think he's been the most important player for United for the most amount of games this season. He was there when Martial was injured. He was there when Pogba was injured. Obviously, he came on against Wolves and helped us get through that game despite having a broken back. I think obviously after the break, we've allowed a few of the other players to kind of take his mantle a little bit, but he's still been chipping in with assists. He's still been chipping in with goals.
I think it's probably got to be Anthony Martial. I mean, he scored the most goals this season. He's came in, he's had a much better season, I think, than the previous season, because he was quite frustrating as a player in the previous seasons that he's been at the club. But this season he's scoring more goals, he's dropping deep more, he's getting more involved, and he's playing a lot more like a centre forward should do, and he's getting a lot more chances. And I think this season, he scored his first hat-trick, for example, at Old Trafford, and he's been so important in this team. If you look at how he's played, if you look at how important he's been in assisting goals as well, which he wasn't doing before, and he's getting a lot more involved in the team as well. And I think on the whole, he's been way more consistent this season.
And I think the reason why we were able to do that is purely based on the fact that we were able to sign somebody like Bruno Fernandes. Not only has he shown his quality immediately since he's joined Manchester United, but he's also been able to generally help or become a catalyst in terms of the way we've been able to turn around the vibe, the ambiance, the atmosphere surrounding the club. I mean, the negativity pre-pandemic was so saddening, but with the results turning around and with Pogba looking like he's so sort of happy, and his situation surrounding the club has been, I guess, solved on a temporary basis.
Now, I've gone back and forth over this one, but for me, got to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He has been fantastic. He only had one full season at Crystal Palace playing regular football. This is only his first season with Manchester United, and he has been phenomenal for me. I think the fact that he's so young, he has taken it all in his stride. Regarding the Premier League charts, I think he's topped them for tackles and blocks. I mean, what more can you ask for?
His goals, his attributes, the sort of impact that he's had on the team since he joined, it's there for all to see, and is arguably one of the major reasons why we actually finished third this season.
Second one, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Brilliant right back. He's been solid for us. He absolutely has to be in there. He's been outstanding.
If it wasn't for him, then we wouldn't have finished third, because he scored so many important goals for us this season. And I think before we had a problem with Martial, whereby some games he might show up and others he didn't. But this season he's not been like that. He's been pretty consistent throughout, and he's taking his chances more often than not. And I think I really started to see a change. I think it was the game we played Watford at home, and he scored that goal and did that still. And we just hadn't seen that from him, and I think he's made a massive difference this season. And if he wasn't at United this season, we wouldn't have got top four, like I said, because we wouldn't have been able to have a player like that that'd be as clinical in terms of finishing those chances that he's had. So yeah, he's got far more involved this season.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka, defensively in the league, is an unmatched player. He has 129 tackles, which is the most in the league. And honestly, when I see him play, I think teams stop going down his side of the pitch because they're so scared that they'll just be ineffective with those players. We saw it against City. He absolutely dominated Sterling. Sterling didn't even get a shot on target against Manchester United.
With his goal-scoring exploits and his hold-up play, dangerous in the inside left position, He's been definitely the most exciting player to watch this season, with no penalties either. So Martial FC it is, and Anthony Martial is my player of the season.
Also, you can look at someone like Marcus Rashford, who's scored loads of goals this season and carried himself just as well off the pitch as he has on. And if you look at him having to take over from Lukaku's goal scoring last season, he's done that and been such a far better player than Lukaku was in United shirt.
Third one, Bruno. Since he came in, he has lifted the team. He's been a massive influence on the pitch. Everyone is just lifted. They're more happy since he's came. He's just lifted the whole team. So definitely Bruno has got to be in there.
I think for the longest part of the season, he has been our most important player. He's also hit a record goal tally. He's also set up more chances and more goals than he ever has before. So for me, Marcus Rashford has done it in the biggest number of games this season, in the big games as well. He's scored loads of goals against the top teams. So for me, my player of the season is Marcus Rashford.
It all comes down to Bruno Fernandes signing and becoming the catalyst in terms of the turnaround for Manchester United. Of course, everybody else gets credits, but man, Bruno Fernandes has been a huge catalyst. I didn't even need to look up stats. I didn't even need to look up any of that stuff because I just know how big of an impact Bruno Fernandes has had in this team. So that's pretty much my player of the year, guys. Bruno Fernandes.
You know what? People might argue that attacking, maybe he's not the best, but we are still seeing the signs that he is getting better. He is improving with his runs forward, his crosses in, etc. And defensively, I can't argue with the fact that when we played City, he kept Raheem Sterling quiet. Can't argue with that. So for me, got to be Wan-Bissaka, and I'm so excited to see what happens with him next season.
He's dropping deep more, he's passing it out wide, he's getting more assists, so I think he's been great this season, and hopefully he continues that into next season, because there was a thing surrounding him a couple of years ago whether he was going to leave or not. I'm quite happy that he stayed and he's got his set down and he's got on with it, because he could have had a situation whereby in the summer Lukaku could have gone, Martial could have gone as well. We would have barely been left without a striker. So I think he's had a great season. I think he should really get player of the season because of how important he's been to United this season.
Fourth and final one, who I think just notches it above everyone else, has to be Martial. For me, Martial has improved so much this season. He is developed into that number 9 role really nicely. I think he has to be my actual number 1 player of the year.
But for me, I'm going for Mason Greenwood for player of the year for Man United. The young lad, the way he's sort of stepped up to the plate. His goals have been fantastic. He carries himself like a 28-year-old, not an 18-year-old. You look at him comparison, like Ryan Giggs or a young Wayne Rooney or Michael Owen, comparisons at a similar sort of age. And I see him going on to be the future number 9 at Manchester United, and it's been such a fantastic thing to see this season. So for me, player of the year, Mason Greenwood.
And since we've come back from lockdown, I think he's improved going forward as well. He's been taking on his man, he's been getting crosses into the box, and he's been getting assists. And I think next season we're going to see even more of what Wan-Bissaka can do and get the best out of him. And that's why he's my player of the season.
So that was their player of the years. Now we want to know who your player of the year is. Make sure you're getting your comments in those comments below. And need I tell you who my player of the year is? Of course it's Tony Martial. Not that I want to influence your voting or anything, but make sure you're voting Martial FC. Anyway, click that like button, subscribe, like, comment, share. Join Paddock as well if you can. And for now, I've been Adam McCullough. We're out of here.